Colleen, White Swan. Welcome to the Mysterious Domain Tarot card readings. As you can see, I have the 5 stacks here. And you came to this video because you had a hunch. You pick a stack because you have a hunch. And voila! You're going to get your answer. So let's not waste any time. Let's just get into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Significator. This is covering you. This is crossing you. This is the internal influence, the external influence. Hidden influence, the understanding. You, the people around you, your hopes and fears, your outcome. So let's just see what we've got now. Okay, we've got a Maiden of Pentacles reversed. The earthy element has a bit of a warning for you in the sense that you're not getting, perhaps there's been a delay in being paid for something or receiving a package. And it's crossed by this King of Grails, who's like the King of Cups. And so there's some person who is perhaps behind this delay in whatever it is you're waiting to receive. Internal influence, the external influence. So the internal influence is you're waiting. I just feel like you're waiting and waiting. This must be a really important thing you're waiting for, because I feel that you feel like you've been waiting a long time. And if you're having to practice temperance externally, then this wait is really something. It's a major card, so it's something you have to endure. Perhaps there's a lesson in there for you about patience, but we can look deeper into the nature of what this is. Now, your hidden influence is the Maiden of Swords, and I think that has a lot to do with messages. This could be, there's something about the mail service is held up, or someone is checking out this item to see, maybe you shipped something to another country and it has to go through the customs, and there's a sense of someone having to go through it. And the understanding is, yeah, well, this will clear, but you're really confused, and you're like trying to figure out, like, what is the problem? You haven't heard from anybody about this. You haven't had any answers or any response. So you feel a bit emotionally awash. So whatever this item is that you've been waiting for, like I say, a package, a letter, a paycheck maybe, or something like this, being paid for something, and it's just not arriving. Now the past, you've got, you're wishing it was the good old days, I would say. This is the 6 of Cups. It's like you're remembering back when, things used to work better, right? You're remembering back to when, the post office used to deliver the goods and twice a day, and somehow now you're trying to distract yourself with other things, but this is always in the back of your mind. So it must be very late. People around you feel that, I feel someone saying they're afraid your package was stolen. I just hear that in my head. Your package was stolen. Your package was stolen. Now, if that's something like from Amazon or something, they will replace it. But if it's a unique item, or it's money, or it's, I don't know, it could be any number of things that you really need, medicine, I don't know, people around you are thinking it was probably stolen, and that maybe, let's just see, so you're afraid that there's a legal issue. That makes me think maybe it was legal documents that you're waiting for. Perhaps it's something with it's very time sensitive, or something. I'm getting the word medical, but it could be an insurance issue. Because if I tune into you, I don't feel that you're sick, except you're worrying yourself sick. And you're feeling very emotional about not getting this thing that you need. And the outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. So this tells me that this will arrive, because the Queen of Pentacles is very content. She's got her pentacles, you know, that you come back to balance because this is resolved. And let me just see on the end here. King of Pentacles. So you and the King and the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. And the Three. So the Three of Cups. So what this does is it suggests to me that I feel like that knight is coming to the rescue, that somehow your item got held up. Well, there's an Ace of Cups. Well, maybe this is a gift from someone you dearly love, and you're afraid they didn't send it. But, let me see. There's some interference in your life. The Wheel of Fortune suggests to me that you actually are protected, you have good luck, but the people around you and the item, there's some interference. So there has been, I would say, if it was stolen off your doorstep, for instance, then there's somebody that knows where it is and brings it to you. If it was simply lost in the post, it's because there's been, well, it reminds me of the trains in California where people have looted the trains that deliver things, and they've scattered them all over the train tracks. And that could be this as well. People looking for valuables, or people looking for something they can sell, or just kind of causing disruption and disintegration in the system. But I will say to you, to cut to the chase, that this item you will get it back, you will get a replacement, or you will actually get the item because somebody is helping you. Perhaps you call the company or wherever you're getting it from, and they take care of it for you, or they track it down. But I just feel like this Knight of Pentacles with the Three of Cups is bringing it to you, kind of saving the day, So, yeah, that's what that is, that question. And I guess if I look at the Temperance card and the Wheel of Fortune, it's for you to learn to be patient, and also to realize that you've got more luck than you think. You've got protection, or you've got people back at your back, that you've got a support system. Look, all these pentacles, you got a good solid support system. So whatever has gone awry, no longer an issue for you personally. So I hope that helped. If you like the readings, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps my channel quite a lot, and helps me, keep the show on the road. Helps me keep the show on the road. Okay, now number 2 reading. Okay, this is what's covering you. This is what's crossing you. That's the internal influence, the external influence, the hidden influence, the understanding. You, people around you, your hopes and fears, and your outcome. Okay, here we go. So you got a work issue. Now you're doing very well at your job. You're working hard. And you're crossed by, the Ten of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles, you're working hard. The Ten of Pentacles crossing you means you have a lot of support. Perhaps you got a wealthy family, or you've achieved a lot of wealth and a nice lifestyle. And, we'll see what that means for you. The internal influence is new energy coming in, new messages, a new kind of spark of inspiration. And the external influence is now you feel overwhelmed and burdened. So I would think, see, there's the 10 of Spears, or the 10 of Wands. And the thing with that one is Nimue has put Merlin in the Crystal Tower, so he can't get out. So that's blocked and burdened. This is a great idea coming, but I'm overwhelmed with this idea. I really want to pursue this, but I'm doing really well where I am. I'm doing really well with what I'm doing. My family wants me to keep doing it. And this might be a completely new thing. The hidden influence is strength. Do you have the strength to take on something else? Now, this strength card has to do with the Celtic shaman and his achievement of bridging the underworld, the earth with the wolf, and the heavens with the tree of life and the eternity sign and the snakes of wisdom. So this hidden influence is that there's something from your deep self, your deep psychological self, your higher self, your soul, for want of a better word, that's nudging you to do this fiery thing versus the earthy thing. The understanding is a woman, the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Spears, who is perhaps inspiring you. Now, she may be someone you know, or she may be someone you're a fan of. She may be someone that you look up to, who brings this inspiration into you. You know, we all have these people we admire and wish, you know, that have caused us to want to do things and maybe take a Y in the road or something like that. But we'll see if this is for good or for ill. Now, the Knight of Spears is you. You're looking for some excitement. You want to move on. You want to cut loose and go. Now, here you in these cards, you've got a lot of security at stake. You've got a lot of property, money, security. So you've got all this at stake, but you just want to go. And the Knight of Wands or Spears, he's Merlin too, and he kind of goes with this major card, the Strength card, because this sort of feels like you feel like you've got this magic in you now. You've got this ability to create that you maybe feel you neglected in your life before. Maybe you're like in that midlife phase of life where you just want to free yourself and do something completely creative, but you know, you're held to security. The people around you think you better hold on to what you've got and find a way. Like, all right, say you decide now that you want to be an actor or something, right? Say, well, why don't you join the community theater, but keep this part going, or if you want to be an artist or a musician, or just keep this, but just do this on the side. Keep what you've got and do it on the side. That's what most people would suggest that you do. But when you've got a Knight of Wands spirit in you now with the Strength card, you feel a bit invincible. You feel like you can do anything you want, but really you can't, because this can be like a hot head, like a delusion, right? But it's coming from the soul. There's no question about it, but you got to take a baby step. You know, you can't just go, okay, I'm leaving my house and my family, my everything. I'm leaving my job. I'm leaving it all, and I'm going to go on an island somewhere like Gauguin and paint. You know, you can't do that. I just want to become a travel blogger or something, right? That's a significator. So we will put the Hermit here. Hopes and fears. You're really scared. That works actually. You're really scared that if you don't take this chance, that you will become a hermit, that you'll become an isolated individual whose world is very narrow and who is stuck in growing old, doing something mundane, and just not really feeling that you fulfilled your life. I mean, you may have some wisdom and some skill. You may be able to teach people things and stuff like that, but you're worried that you're going to become that monk in a cell consciousness-wise. That you're just going to be stuck. The outcome is the Eight of Swords is when your mind goes in a circle and a circle and a circle and a circle, so you're obsessing about this. And, you know, if this Queen of Spears or Queen of Wands up there is a person who's come into your life, you gotta be careful, because they can inspire this, right? Wanting to run off and just do something crazy to interfere with what you've got. I mean, there are people who come into our lives that are there deliberately to interfere. So you have to think, so what choice would I make if I'd never met or seen that person? If I'd never known they existed, what would I be doing? What would my decision be? Because right now they've got you all heated up. Chariot, Hanged Man, look, you really have to take a measured response to this. You've got to calm down. The Chariot suggests, you want to move forward, but the Chariot also doesn't always move forward smoothly because it's the Cancer card, right? It's a phase. It's like the moon. It's ruled by the moon. So whatever phase the moon is in, could easily cause you to see things differently. It's why the animals, the 2 horses or the 3 stags pulling the chariot are going all in a different direction because, the crab walks sideways, right? And it's not really moving forward and then you've got the Hanged Man. So those are major cards. You've got the Hanged Man there, and the Hanged Man is like your life is in suspension for a reason. If you're feeling hung up, it doesn't mean you're going to be an isolated hermit or whatever. You need to be hung up to gain a true insight into what's really happening. You have to be able to see, like I said, pretend this person never existed and try to fall back and see what your life is really meant to be like. Because that one is trying to cause you to make major life decisions that you might regret. And the 2 of Swords, of course, is when you're keeping your emotions in check. So the way out of feeling burdened or feeling obsessed about this thing is to put the Chariot in park, get another view, a reverse view, an upside down view, go back to yourself and keep your emotions under control. It's just suggesting to me that this person is a bad influence on you because you've got everything here. You built this over your life. You built this, and you could lose it all like that if you let this influence take you off the chart. I mean, it's great to have new ideas. Maybe you can do a little bit on the side, and just explore it that way. But don't go throwing yourself in the deep end, okay? I hope that helped. And please like and share, comment, subscribe. It helps a lot. I appreciate that. And I hope that you handle that really well. And this is my Tuatha de Danaan Tarot deck. Link in the description if you like it. This has gilded edges. And it comes in a little black pouch. So, reading number 3. It's covering you. This is crossing you. This is the internal influence, external influence, the hidden influence, and the understanding. Here's you. Here's the people around you. Here's your hopes and fears, and here's your outcome. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. Now, see, that's a beautiful life. That's just, but you're getting a gift from the Fairy Queen. So what that tells me, people question why I designed that like that. Because it's a little bit of a thorn on the rose. Don't get a false sense of security. You may have a beautiful life, but there's always a worm in the apple. So just make sure that and you don't take it for granted. Crossed by Justice card. Your internal influence is the Knight of Swords. So you're gonna, you gotta tackle some stuff. You got messages coming in from a higher realm. And also, the swords also can have to do with legal matters. The Justice card can have to do with legal matters. And let's just see. The 3 of Pentacles is the external influence. So this has to do with a project, a new job, a collaboration with other people. So contracts, perhaps. Perhaps you're the idea person here. And you need to make sure that things are fair to you. If you get involved with a project that is your idea, you've got to make sure you have contracts and everything signed and all in a row, because you're used to having this nice life, and people can be attracted to that because they want a piece of it, right? I don't sound so cynical. It's a hidden influence. Yeah, money. So juggling your money. What should I invest in this? Should I not invest in this? Should I support this? Should I not support this? How much involvement should I be? And then the 3 of the 3 of Wands suggests that you really like this opportunity. You think it's a fantastic idea, it's a beautiful business or a beautiful project. It's something that you feel will help people, it will give a lot of life to the world, and it's very appealing to you. But you're very prudent about your money. That's the thing. You don't want to go all in. You're very cautious, because you do have wealth, a certain amount of wealth or a nice life. So you don't want to jeopardize that by throwing yourself into this thing. So you want to know what you should do. Now, you, Seven of Swords, now you don't want to deceive yourself, right? Because the Seven of Swords has a lot to do with ulterior motives, and there's the sword and the sword. So inwardly, you're afraid of fraud. You're afraid of getting ripped off. You're aware. I wouldn't say you're afraid. You're just aware that there's a potential here for some dishonesty and skullduggery. People around you see it's an excellent thing. The people around you love this. They really see this is a great opportunity. This is wonderful. You should do it. You'll be happy you did. Because that's a Four of Spears. That's the celebration card, right? It's a wedding card. It's like so great. Everybody wants to party around you and have this thing come across. I'm picking up something about an entertainment-oriented production, play, an event of some kind that involves entertainers. Somebody wants you to invest in this event. That's kind of what I'm picking up. It's a big event, so they're going to you because you have the money. And for you, it's a gamble because and that would explain your distrust, because this world of event, entertainment, and all of that is kind of had a reputation sometimes for being kind of, not the people who want to do this don't always present themselves honestly, Your hopes and fears is the sun. You want the sun to come out and shine the light on the things you're feeling. I would say if you're feeling this cautious and insecure about these people, maybe you need to do background checks on them, or you need to just, you are doing it. You're stepping back. You're a cautious person. And the outcome up here is the Seven of Spears, which those are flying at you through the air. I mean, in that card, it's also about it being an illusion, but it's also the fact that you go through a rocky, nightmarish night, right? Like the bed starts to spin, a lion jumps on the bed, and flaming spears are coming at you. Yeah, it's a dream. It's a bad dream, but we'll see. Well, you've got a victory there with the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. And that, of course, goes with your inner self, your Knight of Swords. And with this here, what I would suggest is you just make sure you draw up don't let them talk you out of it. Legal contracts, everything in writing, terms and conditions, partnership with somebody who's like you, who thinks like you, that you could trust. Don't go in it alone, because I don't think you have to, because there's a person here, there's a partnership, and then there's a victory. Let me see what else I got here. So this could be a love relationship, a romantic relationship that comes out of this. But the project itself, the Seven of Pentacles is when things don't quite come off. Four of Pentacles has to do with hoarding the money, blocking the thing, and the Hierophant has to do with rules like ethics and the right things to do. He's like a priest, a Hierophant, a teacher, a philosopher, but he also has a lot to do with the rules. And so I'm just going to put this in a nutshell. This opportunity has arrived in your life. Invest in this project, invest in this event. You're getting nervous. You gotta have a bad feeling about it. But there's someone connected to this that could turn out to be a romantic partner for you. Now, if I look at this, you really want to hold on to your money and perhaps save it for a wedding. Because, wedding, you see the Hierophant can be a wedding. You got these two matched. You got the Ten of Cups, so you really will. I don't think you'll be investing in the project. You'll be saving for your future. And this looks pretty good because you've got a victory. You've got, the Ten of Cups with you in between. So the Seven of Spears is you just holding on to your own sanity. You're not going to let people talk you into doing something that you don't really feel comfortable doing. And you're sticking to the rules because you can see there's something off about the people who are involved in this. And the Justice card tells me that this karma, it's a karmic situation. You want to be successful at whatever you do, but you will meet somebody. So that's kind of cool. That's the reason this event is in your life, is because you're going to meet a romantic partner. And then this project just won't happen because the Seven of Pentacles, it's not going to happen. And you're not going to invest in it, okay? So I hope that helped. So please like and comment, subscribe, and let me know if, these readings, let me know if it helps you or if you have any more feedback about it. Feel right? Did it feel like some of it was right and some of it was not? That's interesting to me anyway. Okay. Reading number 4. Okay, this is what's covering you. This is what's crossing you. This is the internal influence, external influence, hidden influence, understanding you, the people around you, hopes and fears, and the outcome. So now you are a reversed Queen of Grails. So you're in a very emotionally kind of weakened state in the sense that you're like a bundle of tears, you're wanting to take long baths. You just feel very miserable, crossed by the moon. So the moon can have that effect, right? Because it's always fluctuating and it affects the deep emotions, and you're being really, in a vulnerable state. But, the moon also changes phases. The moon also passes, right? So internal influence, the Devil. You have urges, you get these urges that frustrate you. You really want to do certain things you shouldn't, but you don't understand yourself. Like, why do I want to do these things I shouldn't do? What's pushing me? And the external influence is perhaps you're in a religious family. That's the Emperor, but it's also, the Prester John, the Pope of the Holy Grail. So there's a sense of the people who have power over you. You're struggling between them and your urges. I think you also feel a little chained to the dark side in a way that really you feel it like just a nagging sense of I just want to do these things, but I'm not supposed to. The hidden influence is you're talking to somebody. You're kind of in a strange, passionate relationship with someone that's telepathic, that's very strong, that is hidden. And so either this person has a hidden agenda, or you have a hidden agenda, or the whole relationship has a hidden agenda that is related to the Devil. And the understanding is the High Priestess. So you're very psychic and tuned in, and the way things are these days, that means you got to be a witch, or you got to be a sorceress, or you got to be, there's that cultural push that it has to always be on the dark side. But see, you're hemmed in with major arcana. You've got the Emperor out here, the father, the patriarchy, if you want a better word, the Devil inside, and you understand that you're a High Priestess, that you're a bit of a seer, you're a psychic, you're a sensitive, you're highly intuitive. But perhaps this Emperor world doesn't acknowledge that side of you, because it's, you're crazy, right? With the moon and the Queen of Grails reversed. you're very emotional as well, but you're very intuitive and tuned into other dimensions and everything. The moon is going to shift and you're going to become an Ace of Spears. So the fire comes in and kind of helps dry all that up. But also gives you a sense of determination and moving forward and inspiration, and almost like a flash of light comes on and the people around you see the Magician. Okay, perhaps this person you're talking to is very interested in the occult, is a magician. The Magician kind of goes with your High Priestess, you know. This is a partnership of magic, of like I said, an interest in the occult and esoteric things. But when you've got the devil, you're worried about the devil. You're worried about the dark side. Now, I'm just going to say, you don't have to indulge in the dark side. You can have all of this without that. Just saying. Hopes and fears. You want to go on a retreat somewhere and get by yourself and think. You kind of just want to go away and regroup. You need a rest. Maybe you've just been, because this is a bit of an emotional crisis in a way. Okay, and the Lovers. So you're afraid if you don't commit to this relationship with this Magician here, who sees you as the High Priestess and doesn't judge you like this does, you're afraid you're going to lose everything and be alone. So you have to decide whether you go forward with this relationship. And I feel like this guy does have a little bit like a goth side to him, like a dark sort of goth side. But or are you going to go along with your father, or because the Emperor can be father as well, but the man in charge. You got a lot of pressure to break with this guy. This is like this is a jealousy card, or just the communications being cut off, or machinations behind the scenes. This is the Three of Swords. And then the Wish card, Nine of Grails, and then the Eight of Grails. So it's almost like you really want to get a higher view. You really want to get your emotional house in order and get a higher view of what do I really want. I'm being pushed by this one, I'm being pushed by that one, but what do I really want? Because now that you're the Ace of Spears, you kind of have more clarity, right? Well, actually, you really want to be a healer. Okay, so here's this relationship with this Magician. He wants to be like an occult power couple, maybe doing rituals, maybe writing books, making things, being all of that. This devil influence could be coming from him into your subconscious mind. Be aware of that. This type of person can easily slip in a dark force into your subconscious mind to get you to be his, quote, slave, right? So we're trained to see this father figure as the bad guy, but when in fact this father figure is not a bad guy. He's protecting you. This is you. You have a bit of a Florence Nightingale thing in you. You have a desire to help people. The Five of Pentacles is the poor, the sick, and you're the Maiden of Grails. You really want to help people. And in fact, with the World and the Judgment card, you feel it's important to your soul that whatever you do, it's to help other people. Whereas this Magician and this devil here, it's all about me, myself, and I, right? So I would suggest to you, from what I'm seeing here, is you actually listen to the father figure. Don't get involved with this guy, because there's something ulterior motive like about this. This is someone slipping stuff into your mind that wasn't there before, and you're very open. You have almost no filter, no boundaries. You feel everything too strongly, and everything comes in, which is why you want to have a retreat. But you don't feel good, really. You want the high. So you're like a person who's on the path, a spiritual path towards God, and this guy has come in to knock you off your path. That's what I see. So say goodbye to that one. you got to refresh yourself somehow. So I would go on that retreat. I would go someplace in nature. I would go someplace where you can rejuvenate and just shed and clear. If you're a healer, then do whatever you need to do to heal yourself from this influence of this person. Shed all of that. Because this being the hidden influence too, you're having telepathic conversations with this guy and you don't even know it. You know, you're getting ideas that are coming into your head, but they're not your own. Some of these people can do that, especially if you're like this and you're just wide open. So that's what I recommend. The world card with the judgment card, this is about your soul. This is about you being a complete soul, an enlightened soul. You're seeking enlightenment. So you're seeking union with God or, something higher. So that's what I pick up from these cards. So I hope that helps. Please let me know if I hit the nail on the head or not. Give me a like too. Okay, fifth deck. Last reading. This is what's covering you, is crossing you. Internal influence, external influence, hidden influence, and the understanding. You, the people around you, hopes and fears, and the outcome. Fool. I get a sense of a person who's got a very young spirit. The fool is like a child in many ways, but the fool is an adventurous person. They're naive and innocent in a sense, but they also want to just take off and walk into the unknown. And I get that Knight of Grails crossing him, so I feel that's you as well. You just want to trot off, you've got a heart full of love and you want to go out and you just want to, explore, right? Internal influences, maybe you're coming out of a bad patch. 10 of Swords. Maybe you've been depressed, and you just want to, you've been going through a rough time. You have a young, youthful spirit, but you've been through a bad patch. 9 of Swords. Between the 10 of Swords and the 9 of Swords, that's can't sleep at night, worrying, sick, depressed, everything's going wrong. There's been a great loss here as well, a death, perhaps. Something traumatic. And there's the death card. Hidden influence, the death card. So you've had a great loss. A very great loss. Something is devastating. And the understanding is the stars. So the stars suggest perhaps that there is a silver lining to this. You can't see it right now, but you have got a blessing there. You have got your guardian angel. You've got spiritual light pouring down. I just feel that it's pouring down over you, giving you this sense of I just want to go and bring my, my good feelings, my heart. I just want to go and heal, basically. And here you are, the Tower, so that you've been through something really horrible. You feel really shaky. The Tower brings enlightenment sometimes, but at a cost. It's that you had to lose everything in order to get this enlightenment, right? So you've been, wow. I mean, this is intense. People around you are fighting. The people around you are fighting. So, for instance, if you've had a death in the family and there's stuff for people to fight over, money, property, blah, people around you are fighting, whereas you just want to, I don't blame you, you just want to get out of there. You don't like this ugly stuff. You've had enough. You've been through, my God, and you've got the grace here. So you've got the star guiding you and protecting you from the ugliness of these people around you and all this sadness and grief. Hopes and fears, the Empress. So you're hoping you're going to find a loving and caring person or a place, find some wonderful maternal figure in your life. If it's your mother that died, maybe you want to find someone like her, or anyway, you're hoping to find the Empress, and the outcome is a generous gift. So that's an exchange of, you know, you do something for them and they do something for you, or they help you out financially. Because you're a vagabond here. When you're the Fool, you know, sometimes you're taken off with very little money or whatever. 8 of Spears. Oh, 5 of Grails, 4 of Grails, and the 2. So what I think is going to happen is you perhaps do meet this person, and there's a very wonderful exchange. There's a generosity, there's a kindness, there's a helping hand, and it gives you the energy to rebuild your life. And to, you know, what's interesting, the 8 of Spears is about speed, and it's about excitement, it's about moving ahead. Like all of a sudden you've got a new spark of energy after being through all of this. You've got a new spark of energy, right? And then the 5 of Swords is like a disappointment, but you know, it's one of those cards where your glass can be half empty or half full, and you realize, okay, what has once a devastating grief, a horrible situation, is now feeling like, okay, a disappointment that the 4 of Grails kind of pulled the rug out from under you. And then the 2 of Grails is meeting someone very special. So you are going to shift out of this heavy grief because your instincts are correct, and you've got this star. This star makes you renew. You renew after all of this. And these people around you, they're just going to go in a hole. But you've got assistance spiritually to help you to heal from this, so that all that just feels more of a disappointment than an absolute devastation, which just, like I said, suggests to me that's recovery, that's healing. And then meeting with a person that's like-minded, that's a, you know, a romantic partner, a soulmate, something very special coming out of that, because you know you've got protection and guidance. You really have. So you're wise to just leave the situation. Just leave. You're being told basically by the cards to leave the situation. So I hope you do that, and I hope this helped. If it did, please let me know in the comments. You know, subscribe, give me a like. Okay. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate you all. And I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.